Hello everybody, this is Venomous here, and today I'm not going to be talking about my gameplay whatsoever. Instead I'm going to be talking about a topic outside of gameplay because it gets rather boring and it gets strenuous to listen to the same type of commentary over and over again. Before I start, I just want to thank Stepdar because he gave me a shout out on his channel and his link will be in the description. So, today I'm going to be talking about the universe and its entirety. When you look up into the sky at night, assuming you don't live in a major city like I do, you see many stars. When you think about it, each one of those stars is in its own solar system. When you think of how big we are, our humble planet is 3 rocks from the sun. It's the third planet from the sun. And our solar system is a small solar system. Our sun is a small sun. But when you think about it, in order to get from here to the sun, it's 8 times 60 times 186,000 miles. That's how far away we are from the sun. So, I mean, if you just think about how vast that small distance is, one planetary distance, it's ridiculous that we are only third from the sun and we're that far away. Now think of a planet such as like Neptune or Pluto. Those planets are thousands, millions times farther away from the sun than we are, which is just absolutely unimaginable. If we were to send a modern spacecraft to like Jupiter, it would take 900 years or more. So when you think about that, that's huge, right? The solar system is huge. Now think about it. We are in the Milky Way galaxy. In the Milky Way galaxy, there are thousands, tens of thousands of these little pinpointed solar systems. Tens of thousands of solar systems in a single galaxy. When you put that into perspective and you look out into the night sky and you see the Milky Way, assuming you can see it where you live, then you could truly see how absolutely immense this is. But that's not even close to it. We are in a galaxy. What about our universe? There are millions, millions of galaxies in a single universe. So when you think about it, we're such a small pinpoint of light. We don't even make up like a googolith, if that's a word, a googolith of all of the universe. It's just absolutely, we are, for lack of a better word, pathetic compared to what else is out there. Which leads me to another topic. How can anyone possibly believe that there is no such thing as extraterrestrial life? I'm not saying there's advanced life. Most likely there is. But, I mean, there are billions, trillions, quadrillions of planets out there. How is it possible that one does not have life on it other than ours? I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable to even think that anyone could think that. Only people who think that are completely ignorant. They say ignorance is bliss. In a way it is. But is it blissful to be ignorantly unaware of what's out there? So if you're sitting in your little hovel on an island, is it bliss if every single other place in the entire world is waging war? I don't think so. And anyway, back onto my original topic about talking about the vast enormity of the universe. You look outside and it's unbelievable how large, how small we are by comparison. But there's something larger than the universe. We are in the 4th dimension. And before anyone comments, we are in the 4th, not the 3rd. We are in the 4th. And so you go to those movies and say they're 4th dimensional movies. No, they're not. No. I mean, they have physical stimuli, which technically is a 4th dimensional trait, but they aren't in themselves a 4th dimension. When you go through the dimensions, a 0 dimension is a single point. If you've ever taken a geometry class or whatever, a single point, that is the 0th dimension point. And if you go into the 1st dimension, you get into a line. Okay, that's simple enough. You get into the 2nd dimension, and you have a plane. A square, triangle, a plane that extends endlessly in every direction on a flat surface. You get the XY Cartesian plane. That's what the 2nd dimension is. When you get to the 3rd dimension, you get space. Space is like cubes and spheres and all that type of stuff. It's what we perceive as a 3rd dimension. But the 4th dimension is time. Time is a 4th dimensional trait. So any stimuli that can possibly interact with you, whether it be sight, feeling, touching, which would be feeling, I suppose, smelling, hearing, tasting, all this stuff is kinesthetics, all that type of stuff is a fourth dimensional trait. This is why in movies or in rides or amusement parks, whatever you want to call it, they say a fourth dimensional ride. Yes, it has fourth dimensional traits, but I mean time. I mean it's all third dimensional. It's not truly fourth dimensional. It has been theorized. Some genius out there theorized that there are 13 dimensions. I have no idea how they theorized this, but assuming that there are this vast amount of dimensions, it is impossible, absolutely impossible for someone to even imagine what the fifth dimension is, because whatever is in the fifth dimension is a fifth dimensional trait. A trait that we cannot in any way perceive. A fifth dimensional person will easily be able to perceive time because they experience time, just as we experience space and planes and lines and dots. We experience all of this, but we are technically in every dimension, but we only perceive technically 5 because of 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which leads me to my next topic. Einstein theorized that it is impossible to exceed the speed of light. And by the speed of light is supposed to be the universal speed limit of the universe, of any dimension, or at least any dimension I can perceive, anyone can perceive. It's supposed to be the speed limit that nothing can surpass. On a side note, somehow it's been theorized that the speed of light has actually slowed down over time. I have no idea how they came to this conclusion, but whatever. And it is theorized that the closer one travels to the speed of light, the slower time passes. For example, if you were on a spacecraft going 99.999% the speed of light, then time would be slowed down to 0.001% of normal time to make up for the fact that you won't be able to travel faster than that 0.001% of the speed of time, if that makes any sense to you. This simply means that even no matter how fast you're going, you'll never be able to actually pass and surpass the boundary of time, because the faster you go, the slower time moves. He also theorized that if you actually hit this intergalactic speed limit, being the speed of time, then you would automatically expand to the size of the universe, because the universe is ever expanding at the speed of light. So anyway, the only way, at least in my mind, to travel at a speed surpassing the speed of light would actually be not traveling faster, but traveling through. For example, a wormhole. And this brings me back to my second topic, or whatever. If you were able to somehow switch dimensions to go to, say, a second dimension where there is no space, and simply slip on by through a wormhole, you could instantaneously appear somewhere else in the fourth dimension. The only way in my mind to at least switch dimensions would be some catastrophic failure of atoms. And for another topic, since we're on the physics topic, I'm going to talk about the uncertainty principle. And in the string theory too, I'm going to kind of put them together. Physicists, some believe that every atom has a twin atom at some point in the universe, which they are somehow drawn to each other and they have this bond. And this is string theory, where they believe that every atom is not theoretically, but I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But anyway, they're bound to each other by like a string. Not literally, but a string figuratively. There we go, figuratively, a string. And the string unites these two atoms together so that they're always bound and they share similar fates. And I will be talking about fate a little bit later on in this commentary too, because I have another theory about that. But anyway, and the uncertainty principle states that at any given point, these atoms can switch spaces. That these atoms can flop around at any point. This technically gives you the possibility to randomly teleport to Jupiter. If the likelihood is absolutely unbelievably low, but this is why it's called the uncertainty principle, because nothing is certain. There's only one single thing in all of the universe that is certain, and this is chaos. And that's just my opinion. Because in the absence of everything that is certain, you can expect something to be chaotic, and by assuming that something is automatically chaotic, you can perceive that something is not going to go as according to plan. And this brings me to Murphy's Law. Everybody jokes about Murphy's Law, but it seems like it almost always comes true. Murphy's Law states that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, or in other words, that if something can happen, that's bad, it's most likely going to happen. Unless you plan for it, then it's not going to happen. So, to give this relation to something video game related, say you have flak jacket on. You're rarely going to get hit by explosives when you flak jacket on, but the second you take it off, you're going to get killed by every grenade that gets thrown. This is Murphy's Law. I guess I can talk about fate now. So I assume if time travel is possible, and going back into time and going forward into time is possible, then if you were to go back in time and, say, change something, then nothing would have been changed, because you would have already gone back in time and changed it. This has been said by multiple people. I came up with this idea on my own, but I'm not the first person to come up with this idea. So this simply states that if you were to go back in time and change something, say you go back in time and kill someone, then you've already gone back and killed that person. So think about it. What is a future but a future's past? So if you think of time as a straight line, and there is a point just past in the future, and then there's a point beyond that, then that point that's just past our present time is in the past of a distant future. So that means if you could go back in a distant future and you would have already gone back and changed it, then that would mean that that future is constant, and that future is our future. It's really kind of complicated to explain without like a picture or something. But if we're at present, and I'll name future closest to us, say 10 years in the future, future 1, and 20 years in the future, future 2. So in future 2, if you were to go back to future 1, and change something, then future 1 would remain constant, because you would have already gone back and changed it. So if future 1 is constant and absolute, then wouldn't that make future 1 present's automatic future and predestined? I personally don't like the idea of fate. Not very many people do. But according to my own logic, I can't deny what is, at least in my opinion, obviously in our nose. I mean, if you were to go back and kill a dinosaur, you would have already gone back and killed them, which means that you would have gone back doing no effect. And you would think, well, what if I just didn't go back? Then you never went back originally. It's a paradox. And paradoxes are really annoying, first of all. It's the same type of thing where if you were to go back in the past and kill yourself, then what would happen? Would you have already gone back in the past and killed yourself? Think about it. I mean, if you were to make a time warp thingy, and you could see into this time warp, and you pulled a gun out, and it was 5 minutes in the past, and you killed yourself before there's a time, would you have ever killed yourself? Because technically you killed yourself, and instantaneously your future self would be dead. I can't remember the exact name of this paradox, but it has a name. And another topic, which is slightly less physics related, but more general related. There's one principle which I came up on my own, that it seems nearly everything in life comes in some type of wave. Whether it be as obscure as a tidal wave, or whether it be how often people attack you in a Call of Duty game. People always seem to come in waves. A constant stream is very, very unusual. It seems like, electricity moves in waves, light moves in waves, sound moves in waves, all this stuff moves in different types of waves, whether it be concussive waves, or whether it be longitudinal waves, whether it be any type of wave. Everything seems to come, they may come at different frequencies, they may come at different amounts and amplitudes, but it does seem that everything, at least in nature, can come in waves. So, I suppose I'm going to end my commentary here, and I will talk to you all later. And I hope this commentary was a good change of pace, and if I went over your head, I'm sorry, and if you'd like to hear more, please say so in the comments. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and peace out, guys.